hits it deep to right field. That ball is hit down the line. Headley will touch a ball. The Padres win. That ball hit deep to left field, down in the corner, and it's a home run! Eckstein touches the ball! Headley and Eckstein with those game-winning home runs. Earlier we talked about LeBlanc and Stauffer collaborating on a shutout, 9-hit shutout last night. It's come from all corners of this San Diego Padre team.
There's an old baseball cliche that says, who's going to be tomorrow's hero? It's been spread around. Everybody's spreading the wealth in this Padres clubhouse. And like you said, if it's not Adrian Gonzalez, it's David Eckstein. If it's not David Eckstein, it's Chase Headley. Hey, Will Venable, you can go back in the scorecards and see that he's come up with a big hit. Even though Kyle Blanks is kind of struggling at times, striking out a lot, he at times hits a double to score some runs. So everybody is collectively contributing to the success in the month of April. How sweet would it be to end April with 15 victories? That'd be some kind of nice. If we take a look at the Padres in recent history, 18 wins in 98, 98, playoffs, World Series. 84, 15 wins, playoff, World Series. You see the trend here, and in 1996, 17 victories. Don't start printing out playoff tickets right about now, but you know what? I'd rather have an April with 15 wins possibly for the Padres than have a record below 500.
And what I like when you go into the clubhouse of the Padres, and it's basically a young team with just enough veteran leadership to keep everyone on a mature level, that is exactly my feeling about this team. You don't see too much exuberance. The kids aren't messing around snapping towels and doing that sort of thing. And the veterans are just a part blending in with the mixture that Buddy Black has put together. And I like the fact they don't seem too excited about what's happened, but when they were losing a couple of games in a row, they weren't very disappointed either. They don't show their emotions.
What that tells me is that everybody in that clubhouse is confident about their ability. Hopefully they can carry over.
All right, let's look at tonight, Friday night on Beer Fest night, the pitching matchup. It'll be Dave Bush, the right-handed veteran for the Milwaukee Brewers. He's 1-1 this year. And the left-hander Clayton Richard has pitched much better than his record. 0-2 is this the night he logs his first San Diego victory of the season. And our pitching matchup is brought to you by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. You know, those pesky termites can steal your home. Don't let them. Call Corky's 1-800-901-1102. The left-hander from Indiana, Clayton Richard, big guy at 6'5" and 240 pounds, looks for his first win of this year. Last season he was 5-4, and in his starts, the Padres were 10-6. He's pitched better than his record. 3.75 ERA reveals that. Ready to go to work. Ricky Weeks leads it off, the second baseman for the Brewers. Right-handed hitter who had a tough night last night, struck out 3 times and walked. And the first pitch of the game is a strike. 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Richard works quickly and has Weeks skipping rope on that fastball.
Hey, doing a little dance on Beer Fest night, just breaking in those Milwaukee Brewers. And Clayton Richard, if he's going to be on tonight, you're going to see a lot of ground balls with that two-seam fastball that he likes to pound down at the knees.
That ball just missing. Off speed, 2-1. Weeks, Gomez, and Braun here in the first inning. Wade LeBlanc, spectator tonight after his great work last night, fouled back to the screen. We all remember when Chris Young, in his first outing in Arizona, worked 6th inning, shutout ball, the first win of the season for the Padres, and then the bad news, the tenderness in the shoulder, and everyone said, oh, no, we're losing our top pitcher. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And so for the attitude to go so negatively with the loss of Young to what happened last night, it's such a wonderful turnabout. Here's the Brewers lineup with Weeks, Gomez, and the hot-hitting Ryan Braun at the third slot, home run hitting Prince fielder. Casey McGee is back after staying home to help in the process of delivering their second child, Corey Hart. And Greg Zahn, Escobar, and Bush, the lineup for the Brewers. Ken Maka, their manager, in his second year, 59-year-old skipper. Former ball player, 6 years, and infielder, Pittsburgh, Montreal, and Toronto. Played some ball in Japan as well. Barking out the strike call, Paul Schreiber, and it's 2-1. Oh, that's a well-placed bunt. Headley, bare hand, gets him on a close play. Bang, bang at first, and Headley makes the big league play, bare hand and throw.
Every time I see Chase Headley make a play like that, I go back to spring training because Chase really didn't have a lot of opportunity, a lot of chances to make plays like this. So what happens? You spend hours on the practice field with Glenn Hoffman, hitting fungos, going to your right, going to your left, and charging them and getting speedy runners like Gomez for a big second out.
No argument from Gomez, nor from first base coach Ed Sadar. That was close. Ryan Braun, tough out, takes a strike. At 92, the fastball. He's the number 2 hitter in the National League in total hits with 32. He led the league last year with 203. Fouls this one away. He's just a professional hitter.
You know, we go up and down this Brewer lineup, and they've got guys who've got some pop, and it was really testament to this Padre pitching staff last night. Ken Maka is going to try to wake up those bats down there and wake up the offense for the Brewers.
Husky Prince fielder strapping himself to get ready for his turn at bat. Ball and 2 strikes. Braun hitting .356, currently the number 3 average in the league. 5 home runs and 20 runs batted in, among the leaders in every offensive category.
One of the things we're going to have to watch tonight with Clayton Richard is the pace, the tempo. He loves to work quickly. The umpire in between innings will have that stopwatch holding him up. Darren Balsley likes the way he works, but sometimes he can be a little bit too quick, and that'll put the mechanics out of whack just a tad.
Pounded foul. Remains 1-2 to Braun. Name alone, he's a popular commodity in Milwaukee and such a big German community. It's one of the well-kept secrets. What's this all about? Is umpire Schreiber out to talk to Richard?
And I also saw third base umpire Angel Hernandez, shocker, went out to say something to Clayton Richard as well. Probably just a little rule about something. I don't know what, like we talked about going to your mouth. Maybe he was near the rubber or too close to the rubber.
It can't be on the rubber.
Right.
And then you have to wipe off your hand afterwards. 1-2 to Braun. Change up. Well, the Brewers trying to get some runs. Buddy Black's pitching staff has been tough on everyone this year. Just missed. Full count. 93-mile-an-hour sinker.
He's got that two-seamer. He did a lot of grounders.
Hit high in the air to left. Giving ground is Matt Stairs. 1, 2, 3. The Brewers go in the opening inning. It'll be Gwynn, Eckstein, and Gonzalez for the Padres coming up. Carl's Jr. Try the Big Country breakfast burrito with eggs, hash browns, and savory sausage gravy. So the Padres come up. Tony Gwynn, David Eckstein, and Adrian Gonzalez in the first. Padres, after 4 runs in the fourth and bringing in 5 in the fifth last night, then went the last 3 innings without a base runner. Gwynn getting a shot in the leadoff spot against Dave Bush, 30 years of age. He's 6'2", 204 pounds, from Conestoga, Pennsylvania. 2-0.
Well, Dave Bush is going to try to do his best. We talked about the Padres possibly finishing April with 15 wins. Well, Dave Bush is hoping that he could go in the double digits for victories for his Brewers with 10.
Too high, 3-0. He's 1-1 this year. He's pitched well except for his last outing against the Cubs in 3 2/3. Gave up 10 hits and 9 runs, 7 earned. Way upstairs, a 4-pitch walk to Tony Gwynn to open the first for the Padres. And here is the San Diego lineup, brought to you by Alpine Rock and Block. Start your next backyard project with Alpine Rock and Block. Gwynn, Eckstein, Gonzalez. Chase Headley in the 4th spot. Will Venable hits 5th. Matt Stairs in the starting lineup for the 2nd time this year, hit 6th. Jerry Hairston, the all-purpose player for the Padres. 7th, Nick Hundley 8th, and Clayton Richard, the pitcher, bats 9th. Look at those numbers for Adrian Gonzalez against Bush. He's treated him like a batting practice pitcher. Runner goes. The throw to second, not in time. Although Gwynn almost went right over the bag, and you saw second base umpire Joe West take a second look before he made his call. Greg Zahn with the throw. Gwynn had beaten it easily, and with so much momentum, he just skidded right over the sack.
And you really hate to see a runner give a great effort, get a good jump. Zahn slipped, kind of airmailed a little bit, and then slide past the bag and then get erased. Luckily for the Padres and Tony Gwynn. Hang on.
Ooh, that was close. Now that walk and steal as good as a double, and now the ground ball up the middle. That'll advance Gwynn to third as the shortstop Escobar takes care of Eckstein on a 6-3 play. So this is the kind of effort that the Padres talked about since the first day of spring. There's nothing wrong with a walk and a steal and a ground out and a fly ball. They can score a run without a hit.
Baseball. That's the way you play this game, right? Now you got your power guy coming up. The infield will be in. Will they pitch around him a little bit? Get a double play in order?
This is a bit surprising. Ken Maka bringing the infield in the first inning. Infield tight. Hitter's delight. We'll see how serious they are about pitching to Gonzalez.
I don't think he's going to get diddly to hit here, quite frankly. And here's what I think. If you do not elect to give this guy anything to hit, just put him on. What the chance of a wild pitch, a pass ball, you bounce a breaking ball?
Ground ball, second baseman. That's going to hold the runner. So the strategy works as Weeks throws out Gonzalez.
So 2 breaking balls, 1 in the dirt and then 1 to hit. Adrian out in front off the end of the bat. It pays off.
Adrian, the only Padre last night not to log a base hit. He went 0 for 5.
Good breaking ball outside corner. Not hit sharp enough to really get past the infield when they were drawn in.
So here's Chase Headley, club leader in average, 333, most runs, most hits, most doubles, most steals for Headley. 68-mile-an-hour curveball.
I think Adrian, going back to that at bat, I think Adrian wants that at bat back. If he's going to take a hack, I'm guessing he wants the good fastball where he can rip at. That wasn't his pitch to rip.
Up high, 1-1 with a fastball.
Now he's got a repertoire now. He throws everything up there. Fastball, a cutter, a slider as well, curveball, and a change. High 80s he'll max out at. He's not a hard thrower, 88, 89 tops.
Fouled 1-2. Curveball again.
He's got an ephus curveball as well. He will toss that thing up there. It might be around 60 miles an hour. Oh, by the way, since I saw Bush go to his mouth, remember the umpires had a little visit with Clayton Richard? I heard it between innings on the field, Mike. Home plate umpire Paul Schreiber said he went to his mouth and then it went directly to the ball. You have to wipe, as you mentioned, Dick. So
they warned. They didn't call it a ball. They could have.
Right.
They gave him a warning. So 1-2 to Headley. In the dirt, blocked nicely by Zahn. Well, these Brewers 1-6 in their last 7 games, so they're hungry for a win. They've lost 3 in a row to fall to 9-13 under the watchful eye of Ken Maka. And when they score 3 runs or less, they're 0-9 this year. They have to score because of their pitching. Swing and a miss, and good work by Dave Bush. He pitches out of 1 out, runner at third, getting Gonzalez and Headley. Sunday, your Padres facing Milwaukee, and all kids 14 and younger receive a free Padres picture frame presented by Cox Channel 4 San Diego. Be sure to visit Padres.com. Get your tickets for Sunday. Also, you'll be able to take photos of your favorite Padres before the game. Prince Fielder takes the first pitch upstairs, ball one. Fielder with just 2 home runs, and this is the final day of April, so that's well under his expectation. Fouls it back. His 208th consecutive game played, Fielder. We mentioned last night that is the longest active streak in the big leagues. Only 208. So more players being rested. There isn't that valor of being in the lineup every day. That one shattered a bat.
You know, with the money they're giving players these days, and don't get me wrong, more power to them. Get as much as you can. But with the way they're paying these guys in long-term deals, they need a day off every now and then, especially with a scheduled day off on the calendar, no game. You give one of your star players or two a day off, and you keep your bench players sharp, like Buddy Black likes to do.
And, the big money players have to get to the bank, too. If you make them work every day, how are they going to satisfy the banker?
We've got to tell them about direct deposit. Are they up on that?
Fielder with a new piece of lumber. 1-2 the count. High pop foul. Foul territory, third baseman Headley well back.
You can see Clayton Richard trying to get in the kitchen of Prince Fielder, trying to tie up those hands and not get his bat extended.
Not quite. 93-mile-an-hour cutter that just missed.
Pretty darn good pitch. Maybe off the plate just a little bit.
Eckstein playing shallow right field. The second baseman. Gonzalez very deep at first, respecting the pulling power of Fields. There's Eckstein out on the grass. Close pitch again at 94. A little low.
I got to say, that one's a strike.
Just off the low outside corner.
Different strike zone than last night, huh?
Very different. He did not go around. So from a ball and 2 strikes, Prince Fielder works Richard for a walk. Here's the Padres defensive lineup, brought to you by Tiger Turf. Tiger up your lawn with Tiger Turf, the world's best-selling synthetic turf. Visit mytigerturf.com today. Stairs in left, Gwynn in center, Venable in right, Headley, Hairston, Eckstein, Gonzalez on the infield with Richard and Hundley the battery. Casey McGee, right-handed power hitter, third baseman, batting .321. He and Ryan Braun tied for the club lead with 5 home runs, and he has just 1 RBI less than Braun with those 19. Fly ball right field. Venable positioned perfectly. One away. Brings up right fielder Corey Hart.
I think there's a common theme with these Brewer hitters. They are aggressive. They've got some pop. They like to swing the bat. So therefore, you're going to see some change-ups. I mean, Clayton Richard charted last night's game. He saw Wade LeBlanc throw, so he's going to throw some change-ups.
Fielder at first base belies his size. He's a good base runner, smart base runner. Change up in for a strike, starting Corey Hart. There's a strike zone to pitch to at 6-6. Out of play. That will sail well back into the second deck.
You look at Prince Fielder over at first base, and you mentioned him being a decent base runner. I always think of a guy by the name of Rick Russell, who pitched for the Chicago Cubs. He was an excellent base runner, very athletic. But when you looked at him in his build, you thought, there's no way he can run. He was very good on the base paths and very smart.
Fly ball again, aimed toward Venable, shallow right, toward the line. 2 away. And that brings up catcher Greg Zahn. Zahn hitting .220. Last night, George Kataris was behind the plate, had a single and a double in 3 at-bats.
Greg Zahn has put together a nice little career. He's into his 15th year in the big leagues. I've always liked this guy. Scrappy.
Shortens up and takes a strike. 91-mile-an-hour cutter. Yeah, to be admired, the durability of some of the players. They find a way, their value to stay around. Strike 2.
Not too many 39-year-old catchers around anymore, is there?
What? 39. They're lucky to get out of the crouch. The pitch. Fastball up and away. .62 degrees at game time. We understand the weather's going to be much warmer tomorrow and Sunday, so make your plans to join us. There's a base hit to right field as Zahn shoots a line drive. First base hit of the game. Moving up 90 feet is Fielder. And Alcides Escobar, the shortstop, will bat. He's hitting .260. Nice little piece of hitting by Zahn. Down on the count 0-2, then 1-2. Just went with the pitch.
A guy who knows his limitations. That was a great at-bat.
2 on, 2 out. Curveball caught the inside corner. It's the 40th year. You see the emblem there on the sleeve of the Brewers players celebrating the anniversary. Out of play, and once again Richard ahead on the count, 0-2.
One way to keep that pitch count down is to put hitters away when ahead 0-2. Let's see if Escobar will fish after something. You almost have to guess as a hitter something breaking ball like a slider or a curveball or a changeup out of the zone.
4th time he's gone 0-2 to a hitter. Put a little extra on that fastball, well high.
I think Pablo Sandoval would have swung at that last pitch.
It probably drove it left field corner for a double. He leads the league in batting as we get to May 1 tomorrow. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Slider gets Escobar. No runs ahead, a couple of Brewers left. We go to the bottom of the second. It'll be Venable, Stairs, and Hairston to bat for the Padres. the island. And a reminder to join us tomorrow, the Padres and Brewers at 5:35. The first 25,000 fans at Petco will receive a great Chris Young replica jersey presented by Petco. Visit Padres.com. Get your tickets tonight. Talk to Chris Young. We'll share that conversation with you as Will Venable leads off the second. Takes a ball high. Jody Garrett has replaced Carlos Gomez in center field. But I don't know what happened to Gomez. 2-0 as Bush is high once again. Former Padre Garrett. And he will bat in the second spot, of course. 2-0 to Venable. On the inside edge with a slider. 4 home runs, second to Gonzalez. Couple of triples as well for Will. Does a lot of that. They pitch him tight inside and low, and he pounds it right in off his own puppies.
and like a left-handed pitcher to a right-handed hitter, like Wade LeBlanc, cutters inside. Well, the same for a right-handed pitcher to a left-handed hitter. Trying to get that bat head out, and yeah, if you're on top of that baseball, you're going to get a lot of shin burgers and a lot of toast sandwiches there.
Strike 3 call. Good looking fastball. That was right on the plate.
Now that's the four-seamer. You saw the cutter earlier, the foul tip, and then you freeze him with the four-seamer. You're anticipating possibly that ball moving inside for a ball, but you know what? It's too late. He straightens it out, and he gets the call.
Second strikeout for Dave Bush. Brings up Matt Stairs, 42-year-old veteran. And he started in Cincinnati, came through with a big double. Takes a strike. Most of those at bats as a pinch hitter. At one pinch hit. That one bounces well out in front of home plate.
You know, Dave Bush in his career, he's taken a no-hitter into the 8th inning 3 times in his career. He had one last year going into the 8th inning in Philadelphia. Guess who broke up the no-hitter?
Matt Stairs.
The guy at the plate.
Boy, that was a 68-mile-an-hour curveball, tantalizingly slow. Froze Stairs.
It's almost like Matt knew it too. Watch his reaction. He recognizes it. No, okay, I'll give you that one.
1-2. Demon Deacon. Dave Bush out of Wake Forest University, where he had a double major, psychology and sociology. That'll work for you as a ball player. Misses with this breaking ball, and it's 3-2 to Stairs. 1 out here in the second. No score. Padres looking for their first hit.
Don't be surprised if you throw a cutter right here. Looks like a fastball, but have a little movement into the fists of Matt Stairs.
Now he misses. Ball 4. Second walk allowed by Bush.
He tried to locate the four-seam fastball away, and no dice.
So with 1 out, Jerry Hairston steps up. 231 is average. We talked about Chris Young, and of course those Chris Young replica jerseys for you fans tomorrow night. Remember that game's at 5:35. Talk with Chris. He is going to go to San Antonio now to pitch in a rehab game on Sunday. The good news is he feels well enough that he is indeed going to play in a minor league game. Strike.
I think the geographical location has a big play in it too.
It's warmer there.
Right.
He sent him to Salt Lake City or Portland or wherever the Beavers are playing this weekend, and apparently the weather forecast was cold. You don't want him going in pitching in that kind of condition. Although he's not all that happy about having to travel that far. Another strike. You say, well, why not Lake Elsinore? But I think they're playing high altitude in here in California, where it might be cold as well. So the best weather spot for him to work was San Antonio. 2 strikes to Hairston. What a valuable commodity he's proven to be this first month of the season. Where can't he play? Making good defensive plays in the outfield. How about the play at the end of the game last night at shortstop?
He's playing shortstop like he's been there for a long, long time. Going to his right, going to his left, charging the baseball, picking up his pitcher, getting some big outs with his glove.
Infield set for 2 for the Brewers, with Escobar and Weeks pinched towards second. Outfield straight away for Hairston. 1 out, Stairs at first. Pulled foul. Padres winning 11 of their last 13. 7 in a row here at Petco. Home cooking. 8-2 for Buddy Black's Bashers. Almost Bashers. More singletons last night. All singles. Pulled foul. Glenn Hoffman waving that one by.
Notice also Dave Bush changing speeds on that curveball. He's got that big lollipop curveball, and he threw one at 70 miles an hour, so he'll throw that pitch at different speeds.
Thus far this year, while he's 1-1, 4.84 ERA, opposing batters have hit .282 against his deliveries. No hits yet for the Padres here in the second. .42-year-old Stairs, he's feeling a little frisky over there. All these young kids stealing bases. He's acting like he wants to go. Even Adrian Gonzalez has said, maybe I'm going to steal too. He has 1 in his whole career.
I swear Rick Renteria's got a starter's pistol over there in that first base coach's box.
High fly ball behind second. Weeks backpedals. 2 away. And Nick Hundley, the catcher, steps up. Sharing catching duties with Torrealba. The 2 men together have produced very effective numbers offensively, and both play, of course, as receivers. They're really solid talents.
I know Bob Scanlon had a nice analysis on Yovert Torrealba before the game, and he was spot on. You could just tell his body language last night catching LeBlanc.
Fouled into the glove. Greg's on.
Here's Yovert Torrealba.
Got himself a comfortable spot there.
Oh, yeah. He's a big leaguer now.
Yeah, you got to keep yourself relaxed and don't burn any excess energy. Sunflower seeds, always a good idea.
He was as happy as Wade LeBlanc was last night after pitching out of a little bit of a jam. As we take a look at the young left-hander.
I asked him 3 hits and 3 at-bats. Had you ever done that before? He said, not in high school, not in college, never. Those 3 blistering hits.
Oh, yeah.
Broken bat. 1 hopper to Weeks. And the out at first base. Now the Padres leave a man after the 1-out walk to Matt Stairs. No score to the 3rd. outmade by Nick Hundley. Look at the catcher, Greg Zahn, and the bat shatters. Shrapnel flying, wooden shrapnel, and a piece apparently hit him in the face or neck. And we have been more than concerned about the way these bats are just exploding, and that sooner or later someone's going to have to check on what's going on here. I mean, someone's going to be seriously hurt, if not a player or a fan.
It's a shame because nothing will be done until something like that happens.
Apparently he's okay as Richard goes 1-1. I think in his eye. Yeah, must have hit him in the eye.
Just a little sliver, you know. That's all it takes.
Swing and a miss by Bush. 1-2. Appears to be okay. That's good news. 2-2. 94. That's his fastest pitch of the night.
You see Nick Hundley just giving the old settle down sign behind the plate. Looks like Clayton Richard has slowed down the tempo just a little bit this outing.
Strike three called. Bush took it at the knees. He was on his way to first. Third strikeout for Clayton Richard. A reminder, San Diego, join your Padres every Sunday, including this Sunday, for breakfast at the park. Get to the ballpark early. Sunday home games. Enjoy a great breakfast before the game out there on the warning track. The park at the park gates open at 10:30, and breakfast first come, first served. Be sure to get there early. Get your best breakfast at a ballpark ever. Visit Padres.com/breakfast for more details. I think I'm going to do that this Sunday. Can I take you to breakfast on Sunday?
I would love that as long as you pay.
Yeah,
absolutely. If
it's
it's free, it's for me.
Free, take three, isn't it? Leadoff man Weeks lines this one backhanded, knocked down by Hairston, but he won't get him. And Hairston tosses the glove and discussed with himself he had made a fine play to get his glove on it, and then it fell out, and that was the difference in out or safe for Weeks at first base. That's a base hit.
Yeah, I had this ball ticketed to left field, and if he makes the play cleanly, Ricky Weeks is out at first base, but he could not find the handle on the transition, and that's a base knock. Nice play, Jerry.
And just to get his leather wrapped around that shot. So 1 out, infield hit by Weeks, brings up not Carlos Gomez, but Jody Garrett, who took over for Gomez. Gomez tried to bunt his way on in the first. We don't know why. He was dismissed for the evening. But here's the left-handed hitting Garrett. Richard starts him with a strike.
You know, I saw a little bit of a secondary lead right there by Weeks when Clayton Richard was at the top of his leg kick. Let's see if he gives him a courtesy move and then his A move over at first base.
Yep. The Padre pitchers have been very successful in pickoff moves, and in fact, they lead the major leagues. They have picked off 9 runners. LeBlanc, 5 of them. He's #1 in the majors. And you know how good 5 is when you think about this, folks. 5 pickoffs in the first month of the season. That ties the record for a season for San Diego. Fouled back by Garrett. Richard jumps in front 0-2.
How come every time I think of Jody Garrett, I think of him sitting in the clubhouse with his laptop computer and checking the New York Stock Exchange? The Stanford guy checking the trades, checking the Dow Jones.
2-strike pitch, goes to first instead. Well, the word is spread throughout the league that watch out, these left-handers for San Diego have wicked pickoff moves. Ted Simmons throwing out some signs. Oh, he had him taking a couple of little steps, and because he hadn't wandered far, he was able to dive back.
This was almost like the slide step move to first. Gosh, that's a good move. He had me picked.
Fouled out of play by Garrett. Nice turnout on our first beer fest. You know, American breweries produce 6 billion gallons of beer. 6 billion gallons of beer.
That's a lot of suds.
Most of any country. We are the sud sippers of the world. 0-2. Another foul on a check swing. But beer consumption per person, what country do you think?
Germany.
No.
England.
No, Faith and Begora, no.
Ireland? Ireland.
How did you get that? Ireland. That's not a surprise, is it?
No, it's not. Oh, my goodness, my Guinness.
They do love their Guinness. 0-2. Strike 3 call. Paul Schreiber taking a good look at it and then punching out Garrett. 4th strikeout for Richard. 2 away.
Did this seem like a delayed call? It looked like he just a little bit of delay, but as you look at this ball, maybe it's caught outside a little bit. Does it catch the outside part of the plate? And Jody doesn't like it.
But you know, when you watch tennis matches and they do the replay and there's a challenge and then they show it magnified up,
right.
And when they first show it, you can't see whether the ball's in or out, and they keep magnifying more and more and more, and finally the ball is just tickling the line.
Right.
That means it's in, right?
Absolutely.
Well, if all that ball has to do is tickle the outside part of the plate, the whole ball is outside. But if it's on that black, that's a strike. And that's how Schreiber called it. Ryan Braun flied to left his first time out, ripped to short. Hairston drops it again. And safe at first, and the throw gets away from Gonzalez. And on to third goes Weeks. And that's identical plays, hard hit balls, backhanded by Hairston. He seems to have gloved them, and then the ball pops out of the pocket. That has to be 2 errors. One allowing the runner to go to first, and another on the throw that allows Weeks to go to third.
And once again, it was on the transfer. What a great play. First part of the play, but then on the transfer, going from his glove to his hand, cannot find the handle.
They're going to call that an infield hit. I find that generous. And then the error for Weeks to get around to third, the throwing error. So first and third, 2 outs, and Prince Fielder up. Yeah, Jerry Hairston would be the first to tell you he should have gotten both those men. Look at Weeks sneaking down the line. He was 30 feet down the line as Richard made that move to first. So best beware. Gonzalez, if Weeks gets a big jump, he's liable to try to steal home. I don't think so. Take the bat out of Fielder's hands. Couple of infield hits, hard hit. Up and in with some heat.
You know, this might be a situation where Prince Fielder gets a little froggy up there at the plate and swinging some bad pitches because of that RBI out there at third base. We take a look. A fastball up and in. Richard misses with location. He wanted that one down and away.
Serves to tie up the big swinging Fielder. 1-1. Ryan Braun continues to collect hits.
Clayton Richard has to keep that breaking ball down, yes, but he has to keep it away as well. You leave it down and in, could spell trouble.
Braun hustles back to the bag. So with 1 out, Ricky Weeks blasted a one-hopper to the backhand side of shortstop Hairston. He gloved it but couldn't get it out of the glove, and Weeks ran quickly to first for the base hit. And now Ryan Braun, identical play, is at first. Chopped out in front of the plate, and Hundley gets it in fair territory. That's a terrific play, and the inning is over. If you wait on that ball, it had plenty of backspin. It would have kicked foul, but Hundley out there like a cat. Watch this. Keeps it in fair territory and throws out Fielder. Wonderful evening, happy hour, 7 days a week. And by Irving Hughes, life is a lease. Negotiate well. Bottom of the third. And before we go to the third, there's Nick Hundley and Ted Simmons in a long discussion after the inning.
You know, I don't know what that discussion is, but I'll tell you one thing. Nick Hundley is blessed to have a coach like Ted Simmons, the 8-time All-Star switch hitting catcher. He is a wealth of knowledge, that guy.
Switch hitter, and many feel, although Tim McCarver makes all of the St. Louis Cardinal modern day All-Star Cardinal teams, that he was the better player. That ball is hit well to right field, and it is caught on the run. Corey Hart tracking down Clayton Richards' drive. Goodness, these Padre pitchers are swinging the bat.
Hey, bat of eighth, right? Like Tony La Russa in St. Louis, up in the order, and Clayton Richard, he just, you know, that stance of his, he's got that back stance where it's almost the uppercut look, and he is going to hacking. He's really improved his hitting skills.
Well, remember his last performance here at Petco. He had a ball that was called a home run. Confused the second base umpire. It was a ground rule double bouncing off the warning track, but initially called a home run. So Tony Gwynn, top of the order, takes a strike. He walked the first time up.
Tony Gwynn was out on the field working with Dave Roberts, working on bunts, push bunts to first base, drag bunts to third base, different situations. Guy at first, nobody on.
This one is clipped in the air off third and just out of the reach of Casey McGee. Dave Bush and the Milwaukee pitchers, Jeff Suppan, last night after that 5-run fifth inning. He retired 11 in a row. And now we're in the third inning, and the Padres have not had a hit now for almost 6 full innings. Hopefully they didn't exhaust their supply in that fifth inning last night. 7 straight singles. One and two to Tony Gwynn. That's a little looper over the head of Weeks. Just a little soft little swing, and he's able to spoon it out to right field for the first hit of the game for the San Diego Padres.
Well, Tony was behind 0-2, and that was a 1-2 pitch, and Bush throws the old breaking ball, and nice little tennis lob for a winner into shallow right field, catching it way out in front, keeping his hands back just enough.
Just lobbed it over the man at the net, you know,
That's right.
In front of the baseline player. Can't get over there to cover. And Gwynn now a threat to steal, as he did steal in the first inning. David Eckstein at the plate.
You know, all the hits last night were fine and dandy along with that Padre win. Hey, a hit's a hit, right? But the last extra base hit for these Padres was Wednesday at Florida. It was Yorvik Torrealba's 8th inning home run.
Up and in. Well, we've gotten word on our good friend Bob Uecker. He has survived a 6-hour surgery today in Milwaukee, replacing an aortic valve, ascending aorta, and a bypass. He'll be in the hospital 5 to 7 days, but they say came out of the operation A+. That's
nice. Great
news. Longtime broadcaster of the Brewers. He'll be out of commission for 10 to 12 weeks. But he said he's going to come back so healthy he wants a uniform.
Strap on the gear again, huh?
Why not? His wonderful self-deprecating humor. Charming guy. Two and 0. My favorite Uecker story that he tells on himself is that as a high school player, he got a call. I think it was the Phillies, and they said they want him to sign. It would be $2,000, And he called back a few hours later and said, "My dad doesn't think he can raise the 2,000." A fake Gwynn going. Oh, it was pretty convincing that he was going to take off there, and hustles back to the bag as the strike is taken. 2-1. No score. One out here in the bottom of the third. Broken bat. It's going to fall for a base hit. Gwynn is going to go to third. Here comes the throw. He's in there. Eckstein wisely goes to second. So by gambling, Gwynn going to third on a ball hit to left. The play made in by Ryan Braun, and Eckstein, always heady. He sees a chance to move into second. So 2 men in scoring position. Single by Eckstein.
A lot of broken bats, and those bats will die happy as Eck does a nice job of turning on that one. And you know what? As a base runner, put the pressure on the defense. Tony Gwynn never broke stride. And as you mentioned, Dick, Eckstein being the heady player, the play is right in front of him. He takes that 90 feet. And with first base open, they're going to put on Adrian.
Fourth intentional walk this year. And for Adrian, among the league leaders once again in walks. He's walked 15 times, now 16. So that'll continue until somebody behind Gonzalez becomes such a threat that they can't afford to just casually always take the bat out of the hands of the first baseman. Then, of course, Chase Headley's the man. He was up there with a runner at third, 2 outs in the first inning, but struck out swinging. Now the base is full with 1 out, a chance for San Diego to grab the early lead.
And Chase Headley's got to think in this situation, okay, all the pressure is on Bush. The bases are loaded. I can wait for my pitch. Got to make it hurt right here after the intentional walk.
Infield in at the corners. Fly ball right center, but shallow. Center fielder Garrett has it. Here comes a runner. Here comes the throw. Not in time. The throw to third. He's out. Eckstein thrown out easily as he tried to advance. But the Padres get the first run of the game as Gwynn scores. Sacrifice fly Headley. 1-0 Padres. Hughes, life is a lease, so negotiate well. With a 1-0 lead, we go to the fourth inning. Clayton Richard to work to Casey McGee, Corey Hart, and Greg Zahn. So Padre pitching now has gone 18 consecutive innings without allowing a run. Starting in Florida. On Wednesday afternoon, the Marlins built a 4-0 lead in the first 3 innings and then were shut out the last 6. Shut out last night. Makes it 15, and then 3 more innings tonight. 18, the equivalent of 2 games shut out. 2-1 to McGee. He fly to right his first time up.
You know, when you mention those numbers, Dick, the one thing that just sticks out regarding this pitching staff is that it's plain and simple. They're hitting their spots. They're down on the walks, keeping the ball in the ballpark, and that's a great equation.
And the defense has been solid.
Yep.
Off the fist to Hairston. This one he fields cleanly and throws out McGee. Well, there have been some movement amongst the players of the Padres. There it is. Everett Cabrera, that hamstring injury was serious enough that the Padres elected to put him on the 15-day disabled list, and they've called up from Portland infielder Lance Sawatsky. I like saying that name, Sawatsky. Sounds like a guy that could hit with power, but that isn't the case. He was batting 162 in 17 games this year. Another ground ball to Hairston, and Corey Hart is thrown out.
I talked to Lance before the game as we take a look at Everett nursing that hamstring. You don't think this kid's itching to get back out there? But Lance asked him, hey, where'd you grow up? He said, Framingham, Mass. And I said, okay, you're a Red Sox fan growing up? He goes, you grew up in that area, you have to be a Red Sox fan.
You wouldn't dare wear a Yankee hat, would you? And but he's got some roots out here as well. He played 2 years at San Diego State. First pitch. A little high to Greg Zahn. He singled to right field his first at bat. 102. Check that, 3 hits allowed by Richard. Well out of the strike zone. That fastball getting away from him. Well, a nice turnout this Friday night, Beer Fest night. Folks seem to be having a good time. More ahead tomorrow, 5:30. Game 3 of this series.
Hey, the park was jumping before the game. That first pour at 5:30. The suds were flowing. People were having a good old time.
Yeah, there's the variety of the sampling is interesting. As Zahn takes a 4-pitch walk. That's the first walk tonight. Make that the second. As Fielder walked in the second inning. And last night, of course, through 9 innings, the combination of LeBlanc and Stauffer scattered 9 hits and did not walk a man. That was key to the 9-0 shutout. Alcides Escobar. 5 straight balls thrown by Richard. He struck out with runners at first and second in the second inning. Huntley out to talk with Richard, just slowing him down a little bit, not getting into that hurrying up to throw a strike.
Sometimes the catcher has to do that, pick the right spot to go out there and just slow down the engine a little bit. Slow down those RPMs.
Ball 6. Just a quick note on the Beer Fest. There are over 20 different breweries. You know, a lot of these
microbreweries,
microbreweries in the San Diego area. Milwaukee total, big and small, 6 breweries.
Wow.
7 straight balls thrown by Richard with the pitcher due next. Keep throwing balls like that, it'll drive us all to the brewery. There's the strike.
Seems like that's one of the things that Clayton Richard has to try to avoid is the wild streak. When you walk the guy here, then you give up a cheap base hit. Could result in a run. See if he can bounce back.
Fouled away. And just to follow up on the number of breweries, the city in the world with the most breweries, Portland, Oregon. Wow. No wonder those Beaver players come here so happy. Strike three call. Well, that's bailing out a 3-0 as Clayton Richard has now struck out 5 tonight. Nothing for the Brewers in the 4th. Padres leading 1-0. Padres Photo Day presented by Sony. Before the Padres take the field against the Brewers at 1:05, you'll be able to take your special photos of your favorite Padres. Call 619-795-5555. Order your tickets or visit Padres.com. Padres Photo Day, and you'll also get a picture frame. So it's 2 giveaways on Sunday. So come join us for the final game of the series. Will Venables took a 3rd strike, his first time up. Count 1-1 to the right fielder. Outfield playing him to pull. Infield the same. Hits this one high on the infield. Weeks at second is calling. 1 away. Well, this comparison is brought to you by the San Diego County Toyota dealers. The last 7 games, Milwaukee 1-6. The Padres 5-2. The pitching, look at that difference in ERA, almost 2.5 run difference between San Diego pitching and the Brewers.
Dave Bush trying to turn that around tonight, because remember, we mentioned his last outing was not a good one against the Cubs. He gave up 4 home runs in his last start.
Pours that fastball into Matt Stairs, who walked his first time up. Padres put together a couple of hits by Gwynn and Eckstein with 1 out in the 3rd. Walk to Gonzalez. Headley brought in the run on a shallow fly ball to right center that turned into a double play as Eckstein trying to advance to 3rd. Thrown out by the catcher. So that play went 8-5 to end the 3rd. Ground ball at Weeks. He's been busy. And the second baseman throws out Stairs. Weeks with 3 ground balls and 2 pop flies there at second.
You know, I always like to hear stories about pitchers, what they do during the offseason. Some guys, you know, they join a health club and they work out religiously, play basketball. Dave Bush lives in Maine. This guy's a lumberjack in the offseason. He chops wood like George Herman Ruth used to back in the day. He gets the flannel out and the overalls, and he gets the axe, and he goes to hacking.
And then he does some woodworking, makes wooden, furniture. So a man who up there in Maine, tackling those mighty oaks and pines. Yeah, that little maple or ash bat must be nothing for him.
Yeah.
Saw him off. 2-0 as he falls behind Jerry Hairston. He popped to second his first time up. As a collegian at Wake Forest in 2000, where all the top college players go to that Cape Cod League and they play. It's a terrific league. He was on the Chatham A's team, and his pitching teammate was Chris Young.
Nice.
The world is a carousel. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Well, Chatham A's, I know this for a fact. USD, University of San Diego head baseball coach Rich Hill coached in the Cape Cod League for the Chatham A's.
I mean, that's very entertaining baseball.
Yeah.
All the top collegians.
Yep.
A lot of them make lifelong friendships. Many of them go on to the big leagues. Full count now to Jerry Hairston. It's down low, ball 4. Trying to think, the flag of Maine is a tree, isn't it? In the flag of Maine, it's the eastern white pine.
That sounds right.
Yeah, that's.
I'd have to agree with you.
That's a great state. Have you visited?
Never
Maine?
been to Maine.
Oh my! In the summertime, it is glorious. It's like the Norwegian fjords and all the lakes and channels. And you know what? There's something else there that's interesting. They have lobster in Maine.
That's where it comes
And
from.
it's almost, I mean, it's shocking how inexpensive you can throw down a couple of those big fellas. Yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful state. Nick Hundley grounded to second his first time up. Fourth walk allowed by Bush here with 2 outs. Hairston at first base, edging off the bag. He goes high, and he is out of there. With surprise, Hairston says, "How did I get called out? He tagged me up on the back." Let's see it. Inning over. 1-0 Padres after 4.
Mid-game recap brought to you by Murray Lamper Construction. Quality and value at an affordable price. Call Murray Lamper Construction at 619-285-9222. Improving San Diego homes since 1975.
Top of the 5th inning. The pitcher Dave Bush leading it off for Milwaukee. Then the top of the order, Weeks and Garrett. Let's go back to, well, right after this pitch, why Hairston was shocked at the call that he was out trying to steal, fouled by Bush. Let's see it again.
I think it's a swing and a miss, Dick. He never tagged him. He saw daylight between the bill of his helmet and his glove. Swing and a miss. So Jerry had a gripe.
1-2 now to Bush. Strike 3 called. He knew it. That's the 6th man that is fan facing Clayton Richard. And 4 of them have been called out on strikes. Ricky Weeks struck out swinging and then beat out a base hit at shortstop. Hit one hard on the nose, and Hairston backhanded, but couldn't make the clean transition from the glove to the throwing hand, and Wicks legged it out. Strike. A ball and a strike. 91, riding it in on the hands of the right-handed hitting second baseman. Father was a player, collegiate at Seton Hall and Stetson. Foul back.
The Hatters. That's one of the great nicknames. The Stetson Hatters.
Yeah, he said, followed my dad's footsteps. He taught me everything I know. Encouraged me to be a ball player. One and two. Watch out. Well, the news is spreading around these environs of the success of the Padres, how well they're playing. More and more fans joining us here at Petco. Nice crowd tonight. Ground ball left side. Headley throws him out. Good play by Chase Headley, ranging into the hole.
And Jerry Hairston backing up Chase Headley just in case that ball gets by, but Chase moving to his left nicely, squares up those shoulders and fires a P across the diamond to get the Speedy Weeks. Well, the defense has been quite nice for the Padres.
Jody Garrett struck out first time up, bounces one to Eckstein. A nice, easy 1-2-3 inning for Clayton Richard. We're at the halfway mark of this one at Petco. 1-0 San Diego. Favorite ballpark foods, all for one low price. Padres all-you-can-eat seats. Enjoy great seats. Any game, section 125, 127 down the right field area. All-you-can-eat food for just $29. The all-you-can-eat menu, of course, the usual fare at a ballpark. The things you enjoy: hot dogs, popcorn, peanuts, soda, bottled water. Get your all-you-can-eat seats today at Padres.com or call 619-795-5555. Nick Hundley was up when Jerry Hairston called out trying to steal bottom of the fourth inning. Hundley, Clayton Richard, and Tony Gwynn in the Padre fifth inning. 1-0 San Diego. President Tom Garfinkel coming by, all smiles, said that Beer Fest here on this Friday night was a huge success. That, what did he say, 7,000 walk-up?
Unbelievable. A great event here at Petco Park. The park was buzzing at 5 o'clock. He said there was 3,000 people out there at 5 o'clock.
Then after you bring them into the ballpark, and then the concessionaires are happy because if you have a beer, you have to have a hot dog. It's automatic. I mean, that's in the rules. That was written back in the 1800s. Foul back out of play. And it just happened to have a note about National Hot Dog and Sausage Council. They estimate how many, there it is. They estimate that this year in the 30 ballparks, 26 million plus hot dogs will be consumed. 311,917. I thought it was like 915. It's actually 917.
Wow, that's a lot of meat.
That ball driven into center field for a base hit. Hundley, who was the sharpest single of the night, only the third hit off Bush. And do you know, following up on the hot dogs and sausages again, now this is going to surprise you. What ballpark do you think the council, now they're guessing now, but they have some evidence of past years, of the 30 major league ballparks, where do they think the most hot dogs will be consumed?
I would have to say Milwaukee.
I would have too, but I guess they bratwursts count. Now the sausages count.
Okay.
It's not Milwaukee. Here's the pitcher Richard squaring to bunt.
Well, I would have to say it would have to be a team that draws a lot of fans, and probably an East Coast team.
Getting warm.
How about, since we mentioned Framingham, Mass, the East, I would say, how about Boston?
Fenway Park, you're right. The Red Sox, they're guessing that they're going to eat more hot dogs than fans at any other ballpark. Pulled back by Richard. The count is 1-1. But that may be just that East Coast bias. They don't know we exist out here.
Right.
Yeah. We can gobble up some dogs down here now.
They think we're just eating the sushi and all that stuff.
That's right. And we are. Not me. I mean, that's just an automatic, a beer and a hot dog. Peanuts aren't bad either with the shell. I like the peanuts. That's why that all-you-can-eat ticket. I mean,
it's a steal.
It's like that's just like throwing a rope around my neck and lasso me right out there. This will be the 70th pitch for Dave Bush. Richard trying to move his teammate up to second. And pulls back again. And the Padre pitchers have been well schooled. I mean, they're not out there just jabbing at anything. Remember the big walk Kevin Correa trying to bunt in Florida, and he took 4 pitches out of the strike zone, and that helped set up that 5-run inning that helped the Padres get out of Florida with a big win.
With 2 strikes, how about a Butcher Boy here?
Out in front of the plate. Zahn's going to go to second and gets the force. And safe at first on the fielder's choice is Richard. Sacrifice fielder's choice, Richard. Good throw by Zahn. He didn't hesitate. Didn't quite get the ball far enough away from home plate.
That's the big key. No hesitation on the part of Zahn because it's a force play. He just has to get it there close enough to the bag to catch it, and they just get him by a split second. And Richard hustling down that line, so they couldn't get the back end.
Shortstop Escobar taking the throw at second base. So 1 out. Richard replaces Hundley over at first, and to the top of the order, and Tony Gwynn takes a strike. Tony on base both at bats. Walked, stole his 5th base of the year in the first. Was on third with 1 out, but the Padres couldn't get him in as Gonzalez grounded out and Headley struck out. Singled and scored in the 3rd with 1 out. Eckstein singled him to 3rd, and he came home on Headley's sacrifice fly. And that's the scoring. As the San Diego pitching smothering the highest scoring team in the National League, shutting them out last night, and Richard has blanked them through 5 tonight.
You can feel some serious pitching momentum coming from this Padres staff.
Outside, change up, 2-1. Well, Richard at first base, big pitcher, but remember, he was a football player, quarterback at Michigan, and he moves well at 6'5" and 240. Inside, 3-1. Good patience by Gwynn. That's going to be a base hit to right center field. Richard running all the way, and then he holds at second base as the right fielder Corey Hart hurrying over, and the ball was fairly shallow. Big gun for Hart. He had that throw in quickly. So 3 for 3 night for Gwynn, 2 singles and a walk.
Well, turning on the fastball. That ball looked like outer third actually, and Tony. It didn't sound crisp, but you know what? Perfectly placed, and a good night for Tony Gwynn, as you mentioned, on base 3 times.
But Clayton Richard over there at second base, ruining the fact that he did not successfully bunt the runner Hundley over, or the Padres would have another run. Eckstein single and 2 trips. Ball 1 on a slow curve. Eckstein with 4 RBIs in the last 2 games. Chance to pick up another. 1-0 San Diego, bottom of the 5th. Big hole left center field. Bunted, and they're going to call him out. That Eckstein was out of the batter's box when the ball hit him. Bud Black doesn't think so, nor does Eckstein. Plate umpire Schreiber thought Eckstein was in the field of play when the bunt hit him, and that's an automatic out.
You know, the one thing about David Eckstein, the guy never argues. I think he's got a pretty good case here. I don't think he was out of the box yet, was he?
Hard to tell from that angle.
Ball is bunted, comes up, hits him. I don't think his right foot touched the ground yet. His other back foot, his left foot was still in the box.
Yeah, he's no question the left foot was in the box.
Yeah. So, he is not out. He was still in the box. Your foot has to be out of the box. Watch right here again. Foot still in the box. Ball comes up and hits him. His right foot has yet to hit the ground.
Of course, we're slowing all of that down, and Schreiber behind the play doesn't have that advantage.
So the put out will go to the catcher.
2 unassisted on the bunt. So 2 away. Runners at first and second, and Adrian Gonzalez is due. He's 0 for the last 6 here on the homestand. He did have the game-winning hit in that 6-4 victory that closed out the road trip in Florida. Right. Off speed. Mini shift by the Brewers infield. Swing and a miss. And look at that at 69, the slow curveball.
And you can see Adrian kind of drift a little bit, trying to keep the hands back, and can't hold back long enough to catch up to that curveball.
So Dave Bush jumps ahead of Gonzalez, 2 strikes. Richard at second, Gwynn at first, 2 out. Bottom of the 5th, 1-0 San Diego. Ball hit into center field, and Garrett is right there. The inning is over. Opportunity lost for San Diego in the 5th. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. After 5, 1-0. You know, the Padres are honored to support the U.S. Armed Forces. Their remarkable service and military personnel can receive special Padres military appreciation pricing, including $6 off any available ticket, regularly priced $14 or more, or 50% off on Sundays for military personnel in uniform. So this Sunday, in uniform, half price. Visit Padres.com for more details. Clayton Richard goes to work. Middle of the order, Ryan Braun takes a strike. Braun, an infield hit and 2 at-bats. One of the 3 Milwaukee hits, Weeks, Braun, both on the infield, and Greg Zahn a single to right. The hits off Richard. Swing and a foul tip. Good looking cutter in on the hands. Well, the little things do mean a lot in this game, and Richard's failure to sacrifice the runner over cost the Padres a run in the 5th inning. And you just wonder how long this Padre pitching staff, as good as it is, can hold off the most dynamic offense in the National League.
And it's guys like this that can make a mistake and make you pay. Hit a mistake, I should say. But Clayton Richard being very careful against Braun. Get it in there if you're going to throw it inside.
Swing and a foul tip. Just got a piece of that.
And once again, great location on the breaking ball down in the zone. If you miss over the plate coming into the right-handed hitter, you're going to get burnt. But look at this pitch here. It's right where Nick Hunley's glove is. You can't get hurt down there. Now, will he try to throw a slider down and in again? Will he try to buzz him with a fastball? He's got him in the hole.
Fastball at 94. The meat of the order for Milwaukee, Braun, Fielder, and McGee. Between them, they've got a dozen home runs this season. Three and 2. Ooh, just missed. Braun with a leadoff walk to open the sixth. And that takes the pitch count to 87 for Richard. Oh, that's a good looking pitch.
Absolutely it is. That's a strike. I hate to see pitchers get, in both sides, I hate to see pitchers get squeezed like that when they make that pitcher's pitch that should go their way. That's where you're taught to throw the fastball.
Absolutely. So Prince Fielder up with a runner at first, and there's the strike. Cutter with a lot of movement away from the left-handed hitter. He has walked. And a good play made by catcher Nick Hundley on a chopper out in front of the plate that Hundley kept fair. With runners at first and third in the third inning, able to throw out Fielder to close out the Brewer attack. Edward Mujica tuning up in the pen. Into the sixth inning, and Richard about to deliver his 90th pitch. Strike.
I just wish he would have gotten that call when Ryan Braun was at the plate. That was a nice, good, low fastball for a strike.
Infield looking for a double play chance. Modest shift is on. Shortstop Hairston is 5 steps on the second base side, or 5 feet on the second base side of the bag, with only Headley on the left side of the infield. One and two to Fielder. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Number 7. Fastball.
And a fastball down. Clayton Richard is really doing a fine job of peppering the lower part of the strike zone. Let's face it, the power hitters, left-handers like the ball down. They like it down and in traditionally, but they also like it belt high, and he has avoided that belt high pitch.
Plate umpire Schreiber taking a couple of steps toward the dugout of the Padres, saying something to one of the men in the home whites. Casey McGee, another home run threat. He has 5 this year. He's 0 for 2 this evening. Fly to right and grounded to short.
Another thing I think that Clayton Richard has done tonight, because of that pickoff move, he's really kept the base runners close at first base. Not really a chance for these Brewers to run.
Right. Changeup.
A pitcher with a good move to first base will shut down that running game.
Well, we saw that last night. It was the difference between out or safe over at third on a single, as Braun tried to go corner to corner, but he had taken a false step back to the bag at first on the move by Wade LeBlanc, and that was the difference, as Hairston in center field threw him out at third. 1 out, 1 on, 0-1 to McGee. That one just off the inside edge. Pitch count up to 93. Padres, Buddy Black hoping that Richard can get 6 full in. One and 2 the count. Way upstairs. McGee coming up to the parent club, Milwaukee, last year. Hit a solid .301 with 16 home runs. He was one of the top candidates for the Rookie of the Year. Two and two, and that strike 3 call. That didn't look nearly as good as the pitch called a ball, on which Ryan Braun walked. 8 strikeouts.
I've seen some pitches like that tonight that have been called balls, and I'm guessing, well, this would be a great look. Hey, just off the. I'm calling that on the black. You betcha. But hitters don't know what to swing at, know what to take when the strike zone kind of moves around a little bit.
Corey Hart is flying to right and grounded to short. In a 1-0 game and 2 outs, if Braun, who is a good base stealer, has any green light at all, this would be the spot to try to get himself in position to score on a single. Braun has 6 stolen bases. There's a drive into left center field. Going to fall for a base hit. Braun will turn and hold at second as Gwynn hustles it in. So first and second with 2 outs. And Greg's on. The catcher steps up with a single and a walk. Meeting at the mound as the infielders come in to offer encouragement to their young left-hander.
Maybe buy a little time also for the bullpen as Darren Balsley's finding out if Mujica is hot and ready to go.
This is a tender spot as Joe Thatcher quickly trying to get up as they anticipate a possible left-handed bat coming off the bench as a pinch hitter. And they want to be sure to have somebody ready in case that's the move made by Ken Maka. Ground ball up the middle. Hairston to Eckstein, and the inning is over. Good range by Jerry Hairston, and they get the force at second. Milwaukee denied in the 6th. No runs, a hit, 2 more left. They have stranded 7 tonight. It remains 1-0 Padres. AT.com. It's powered by Sign On San Diego. Your chance to enter the ultimate golf experience sweepstakes. Do it today. Bottom of the 6th inning. Still 1-0 Padres. Headley, Venable, and Stairs scheduled against Dave Bush. Way up and away. We got a report now on Carlos Gomez, who started in center field, taken out after the 1st inning. He strained a left knee. Remember, he tried to bunt his way on in that 1st inning, so we hope that's not a serious injury. Gomez replaced by Jody Garrett. High fly ball the opposite way. Left fielder Brian Braun, and there's one away. Headley 0 for 2 tonight with the sacrifice fly, knocked in the only run. Will Venable struck out and popped up. Each team with only 4 hits. Milwaukee is stranded 7-5 for San Diego. Foul back.
I love a pitcher's duel. Love it, love it. Give me a pitcher's duel every night. You know why?
Theater, drama.
Yeah, absolutely. Because who's going to blink first? Who's going to make the first mistake, right?
Late swing by Venable. 0-2.
Who's not going to get the bunt down? Who's not going to get, who's going to botch the hit and run? Who's going to bobble the ball in the outfield, have the guy take the extra base? That's what I love about it. And plus the great pitching, to see the battle between the pitcher and hitter.
Leighton Richard may be through for the night. We'll see. Bush skips one into home plate. His 86th toss tonight. There's another one punched down. They pitch him low and inside, and he drives it right into that front foot. That slider, hard slider coming in hard.
Oh, the back of the right calf, it looked like, either there or the shin. That's good that Williams laughing it off. And the left-hander wants to see if he's okay, but Todd Hutchison now out to have a word with Will.
Talk about the many most valuable players on this team. There's one going back into the dugout.
He's the best, Todd Hutchison.
Bounced out of there too, huh? A little skip in his step. He's got that winning look as well. 1-2. Another ball in the dirt. So the guys in the dugout giving Todd a hand for his hustle. Strike three called right down the middle.
He must have been guessing off speed.
Third strikeout for Dave Bush.
So Bush just pounds the fastball right down the middle of the plate, and William, with that look there, he's guessing something off speed.
So two gone here in the sixth. Matt Steers has walked and grounded out. Here's that slow curveball. Now it's down to 67 miles an hour. Nice variety from this right-hander from Conestoga, Pennsylvania. Foul away. So he goes from 68 on the curveball to 81 on a slider. And then his fastball's around 88. So you're looking at low and drive and then overdrive.
Up and down, in and out, back and forth.
Ooh, that looked pretty good. 2-1.
I don't think he's thrown two pitches tonight back to back the same speed at all.
A shift is on for Stairs. Three men on the right side of the infield. There's a strike on the outside corner. 2-2. They're playing him dead to pull as you see the shortstop Escobar 10 feet on the second base side. Casey McGee about 40 feet off the line, the only man guarding the left side. That ball line to right, and the right fielder Corey Hart right there for the out. So 6 innings in the book here at Petco Park. It is a pitcher's duel. 1-0 San Diego. Taste like a fortune, but they are still just $5. So many favorites, like how about the Blazing Buffalo Chicken, $5 all day, every day. Subway, eat fresh. Clayton Richards' night is complete. He worked 6 shutout innings, 4 hits, and Luke Gregerson has replaced him. Gregerson part of that 1-2-3 late inning punch out of the bullpen. Gregerson, the 7th man set up. 8th inning has been Mike Adams, and then Heath Bell coming in as the closer. Scott Hairston into the game, plays left field in the double switch, so put Hairston in Clayton Richards' spot, the 9th spot in the order. And the pitcher Gregerson in Stayer's spot, hitting 6th. 1-0, and now up to the bullpen. Probably the same for Milwaukee. Gregerson, 11 appearances, 12 innings, only 5 hits and 3 earned runs. Throws a strike. There's his slider right off the bat.
Well, I'm hoping in the next start for Clayton Richard and more starts after that he gets a little bit more love. No runs of support in his first start, 1 in his second, 2 in his third, and 4 in his fourth.
Little broken bat fly ball to Hairston for an easy out.
That averages out to 2.63 runs of support for Clayton Richard.
Dave Bush going to bat for himself, so manager Ken Maka is elected to stay with the pitcher. He's not a bad hitter. 0 for 2 tonight, striking out both occasions against Richard. And he delivers a base hit to left field. Solid single. Well, Maka making the right move there, letting the pitcher hit for himself. 5th hit of the night for the Brewers. Tying run on.
Remember, he did that last night when the Brewers were down. Let the pitcher hit.
Top of the order, Ricky Weeks.
Tried to bunt, but it was a different situation. So Bush paying dividends here tonight.
Weeks is struck out, infield hit, and a good play made by Headley at third. 1 for 3. Down low, ball 1. Grounded deep at short. Hairston gets the force at second. Weeks safe at first with 2 out, representing the tying run.
There's some serious range by Jerry Hairston. I thought that was going to be a lot closer. But remember, the pitcher, Bush, is running, and he clearly gets him by a good 2 full steps.
33 years of age. The veteran Hairston, a lot of dance out there at shortstop. Jody Garrett entered the game and batted first in the 3rd inning for Carlos Gomez. Gomez, the center fielder who started out with a strained left knee tonight. Garrett is struck out and grounded out 0 for 2. Fastball dips low and outside. Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder on deck, so this is the man Gregerson wants to get out. 1-0 here in the 7th. Runner goes. Throw by Hundley, won't be in time. So Weeks with a stolen base. And the tying run in scoring position.
Decent jump from Wiggs. Looks like he was spinning his tires a little bit there. And then the flash look. And then the 1 hop to second base. Not close.
Another King Stallman stolen base. It's his first stolen base. Second stolen base of the year. Brewers have been very efficient stealing bases. They've been thrown out only one time, stealing 18 times. 3-0 to Garrett. There's a slider for a strike. So 2 out. Speedy Ricky Weeks carrying the tying run at second, and here comes the 3-1 pitch to Garrett. Swing and a miss. Slider down and in.
Good tilt, good bite, good action, even though he misses with location. Luke Gregerson, I think if he keeps the ball down, he can miss in or out depending on the hitter, and he will be successful with that pitch.
3-2. Hit well to right field. Venable drifting back and makes the catch. Garrett hit it hard, but to the right fielder of the Padres. No runs in the 7th. Let's stretch it. In the 7th, 1-0. Fan Diego, your energy savings expert. For locations, visit fandiego.com. For ceiling fans, just go to Fan Diego. Young and old, the fans are here tonight. A good turnout on Friday night. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. 5:35, first pitch. Matt Latos for the Padres against Giovanni Gallardo, who is 2-2. The Brewers pitcher in a solid 3.41 ERA. Back on the mound, Dave Bush. He's thrown 94 pitches tonight, delivered a single. Eventually that wound up being Weeks at second base with 2 outs, and Garrett lined hard to right field. That ball is hit hard to left field. That's a base hit headed for the corner. Digging it out is the left fielder Braun. The throw to second, not in time. Jerry Hairston with a double to start the 7th inning. Now, Jerry Hairston almost personifies what the Padres are all about this year. You look at their numbers, 231. And I say, well, he's not having much of a year, but he gets such big hits, important hits. And that's been true of so many men in Buddy Black's lineup.
And another thing we've seen this year is the late life Padres. Hey, we're going into the back third here, folks. Padres with a 1-0 lead, trying to get a little insurance. It's a great way to start with a leadoff double bagger.
Brings up Nick Hundley. He squares as if he wants to move him along, and that's a good bunt. The pitcher just does get Hundley as a catcher. He can hustle up the line. Sacrifice successful. 2-4 on the put out at first. And a third. Big insurance run here in a 1-0 pitcher's duel. And Scott Hairston, the brothers Hairston, trying to work some magic here at the bottom of the 7th inning.
Well, Ken Mock is going to bring that infield in. Dave Bush going to try to work for a grounder. So what's that tell you? Fastballs in, cutters away, maybe sliders something down for Scott to beat into the ground. He's got to look for something up in the zone to elevate.
Like Jerry Hairston, 231 entering the game. Here's Scott, 225. Doesn't seem that impressive, but some big hits, a couple of home runs. He backs away from that slow curveball. 0-1. So his first at bat, seeing Bush only from that dugout, trying to read his stuff.
This is one of the situations Randy Reddy's been really proud about his ball club and his hitters. Situational hitting.
That ball is hit deep to left field, but it's hooking in the corner. Home run! Touch 'em all! The Grand Tour, Jerry Hairston preceding Scott Hairston as Scott hits his 3rd home run of the season. 3-0 San Diego.
An 0-1 pitch from Bush, and it's a fastball in. Looks like it had a little tail on it. Scotty does a nice job of getting his hands through. And it's a good thing he hit it hard because that thing was hooking. Gone. Nicely done.
Back to Tony Gwynn. So the double switch when you take out your pitcher, bring in Luke Gregerson, then you insert Scott Hairston into the pitcher's spot. He delivers. How about that? Jerry and Scott, the Hairston gang, ganging up on Milwaukee for 2 runs here in the 7th.
A couple of happy Hairstons right there in that dugout.
No NBA pun intended. Gwynn has had a good night. 2 hits and a walk and 3 at bats. Hits this one high in the air to right field. In comes Hart and makes the play in shallow right field for the 2nd out. There they are. Stay close, fellas. How good is that?
Well, it's gotten to the point with Scott Hairston. You almost have to expect him coming up with the big hits. He did that last year when he was with the Padres, and he went to Oakland, and once again tonight coming through huge with that 2-run shot. You see Jerry showing his brother how he's getting his hands through to get that barrel of the bat out in front and keeping that ball fair.
It's almost like Big Brother showed him how. Line drive double to left. Now you just got to put a little more distance on it. And he did as Eckstein takes a strike. And it's 0-1 to the second baseman of the Padres, who has a single and 3 trips tonight. That slow curveball hangs high.
That's a bro BI right there. One brother driving in a brother, yo.
I like that, bro BI.
We had that a few years ago with the Giles brothers, the Gonzaleses.
Another big slow curve that fooled Eckstein. Toughest man to strike out in the National League by a bunch. Only 1 strikeout this year. Off the bench, delivering a 2-run home run, Scott Hairston. Three straight slow curveballs. That one in the dirt. Padres shooting for their 8th consecutive win at home. Have a 3-0 lead. Thanks to Scott Hairston. 2-run home run. There's a foul ball.
Well, the boys at the Alpine Fire Department are going nuts. Scott, Mark, Brian, Mike, they watch Channel 4 every night. Big Padre fans out there in Alpine at the fire department.
It was good to see so many firefighters here tonight.
Yes.
It's kind of one of their special nights at the Petco Park.
And Jim Flores from the Burn Institute, they do a great job.
Ooh, that just missed. 3-2. 2 outs here in the 7th. 2 big insurance runs produced by Jerry and Scott Hairston. A double and a home run. Hit to center field. Charging is Garrett and makes the play. But in the 7th, the Padres add to their lead. It's 3-0. Scott Hairston down the line. Western Metal Supply Company bricks, look out. At your San Diego Hyundai dealers, you get more MPG, more value, and you double the warranty. Online, San Diego Hyundai Dealers.com. So the pattern has been set. The Gregerson Adams Bell trifecta out of the bullpen. Adams, his specialty is this, the 8th inning. His numbers inflated because of the one hiccup in Cincinnati last Sunday, when he was unable to hold the 4-3 lead. A couple of runs allowed in the 8th inning.
Well, this is going to be a good test for Mike Adams. You've got Braun, the fielder, and McGee due up in this inning. But how nice was that? 2-run shot by Scott Hairston. A little bit of insurance going late in the game. Once again, the late life Padres.
Yeah, you called it. Here's Braun. A walk, a single, 1 for 2 for the number 3 hitter in the National League. Coming in at 356. He's boosted that up another 3 points. High ball one with a slider. They measured the home run by Hairston, 361 feet. 2-0. So Gregerson goes the 7th inning, allows 1 hit, no walks, no strikeouts. These offensive-minded Brewers have been checked by Padre pitching now. 16 straight scoreless innings. Three and 0. Braun was taken all away. Brewers need base runners. Braun, a Californian, born in Mission Hills High School in Granada Hills. There's a strike. Granada Hills High School. That's John Garland went to Granada Hills High School. Let's see, Braun is 26, so he probably would have been just in the, as Garland graduated, he would have been the freshman class. 3-1 from Adams. Strike. Ron figuring the umpire was generous the last at bat, was on his way to first.
And Mike Adams may have gotten a call as we take a look. Does that ball come back a little bit? But a nice frame job by Nick Hundley. Thank you very much. Go right back out there.
In case you're just joining us, the Padres scored in the third on singles by Gwynn and Eckstein and a sacrifice fly Chase Headley. And then in the last inning, the seventh, line double by Jerry Hairston to left and a 2-run home run by brother Scott Hairston for the 3-0 lead behind starter Clayton Richard, who went 6 innings of 4-hit shutout ball tonight. Fouled back. Richard scattering 4 singles, and Gregerson giving up a single in the last inning for the 5 Milwaukee hits. Another foul. So they worked the count to 3-0, then to 3-2, and Braun has fouled off 3 consecutive pitches. Research assistant informing me that John Garland went to Kennedy High School in Granada Hills. John Elway attended Granada Hills High School.
He was a pretty good quarterback, wasn't he?
Oh, he was a baseball player. Played Yankees only 1 year. Couldn't make it. And hit .318. Outfielder. Broken bat, ground ball. Eckstein gets the first out in the 8th. Boy, that's quite a bit of pitching from Adams, falling behind 3-0. And then he threw 7 consecutive pitches in the strike zone before getting the ground out.
And that 3-1 pitch was huge, getting that call to prolong the at-bat. Nice job, Mike Adams. And just to put it in perspective how well this Padre pitching staff is pitching against this Brewer team up to this point. They came into this game second in the league in runs, first in hits, first in doubles, third in home runs, second in RBIs, and first in on-base percentage.
Fielder takes a breaking ball just off the plate. Terrific turnout tonight on Beer Fest Friday against the Brewers. 29,366. Is that why you threw your arms in the air? You didn't like that call?
I didn't like that call. I have to call him as I see him, Dick.
1-1.
Trax liked it. That's the one pitch that's not called enough. Is the low pitch. More pitches are called balls low that should be called strikes.
That's because they're not calling the high strike.
Exactly.
So they're making up for it. You know, you have to have some strike zone. They call the high knee strike and the low letter strike. You don't have a strike zone. What bothers me even more is the fact that a ball just above the waist is considered high today.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you throw a ball that's in the middle of the 2 on his jersey, 2-8 on his jersey, that'll be called a ball, too high. Well, where are the letters?
But yet, if a guy gets a ball up there and hits it 450 feet, he likes that pitch. But if you call it a strike on him, oh, how dare you?
1-2 to Fielder. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Adams with his first strikeout, 2 gone in the 8th.
Look at the tailing action of this fastball, down and away to Prince Fielder. If taken, a ball, but close enough to offer at it with 2 strikes. Good action, good location.
Now it's Casey McGee. He's flying to right, grounded to short, and struck out as he's returned from Milwaukee after celebrating the birth of second child, a daughter, 2 nights ago. Down low, ball 1. 29,366 enjoying the action on this Friday night. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow evening. Remember, 5:35 first pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Don't forget tomorrow night the free Chris Young jerseys as well.
That's right.
Nice gift from the Padres. Swing and a miss again, 1-2. 94 miles an hour on that fireball. Struck him out. 1-2-3 inning work by Mike Adams. 2 strikeouts for the right-hander. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Gonzalez, Headley, and Venable for the Padres, leading 3-0. For the Sequan Casino post-game show immediately following the game right here on Channel 4 San Diego's Sequan Casino is San Diego's vacation getaway, but you can go at night as well and enjoy yourself at Sequan Casino. Carlos Villanueva comes in out of the bullpen, the right-hander, and he starts with a slow curveball to Adrian Gonzalez. Boy, he's seen a steady diet of off-speed pitches tonight. Lots of zeros on this report card for Villanueva.
Good numbers. Opponent's only hitting a $125 off the right-hander.
Swing and a miss.
Villanueva throws a fastball, a curve, a slider, and a change. He's got that sinking action on his fastball. And judging by that last changeup we saw to Adrian Gonzalez, that's probably one of his better off-speed pitches.
Product of the Dominican Republic. 26 years old. That ball hit high to left field. Drifting back as Ryan Braun, and at the edge of the track has the out. So tough 2 games at home for Adrian Gonzalez. He's 0 for 8. That's about as close to a slump as he's experienced the entire month of April.
But once again, what do we talk about in the pregame show? How other players are picking each other up. We talked about Chase Headley, the walk-off home run earlier in the year. We talked about David Eckstein. Well, tonight it's been Scott Hairston with a 2-run shot, and Tony Gwynn, a couple of hits and a run scored.
Chase Headley batting left-handed against Villanueva. He is 0 for 2, knocked in the first run for the Padres on a sacrifice fly to center. Starter Dave Bush pitched well, 7 innings, allowed 3 runs, only 6 hits, but won a 2-run home run, walked 4, struck out 3. 2 balls and a strike. A change thrown to Headley.
Cambio. Love the cambio.
Off speed again at 84. 2-2. Villanueva last year started 6 times. 58 relief appearances, was 4-10 overall with a 5.34 ERA. It's pretty high. And this year, just the opposite, all zeros. No runs, no hits allowed. Goes to 3-2 to Headley.
I bet you a dime to donuts. You ask somebody with the Brewers why the good numbers from Villanueva. It's locating the fastball and throwing his breaking ball for strikes early in the count possibly, and expanded that zone with that breaking ball when he's ahead, because that's usually the formula when a guy really turns it around, unless he comes up with some other pitch.
Struck out 15 men in 12 innings. He has allowed 5 hits, no runs. 3-2 to Headley. Checks his swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Headley then scampers to first. The throw not in time. Safe at first on the wild pitch. That was complicated because Headley didn't know whether or not he'd gone around or not. And the third base umpire then gives the out sign, and Glenn Hoffman at third shouted, "Get up there." And he's safe at first.
Start from the beginning, and then they quickly appeal. See the home plate umpire, because the ball's live. They appeal, and the third base umpire quickly says, "You bet." He went, and then everybody's off to the races. Well, Greg Zahn running into your living room right there, a little HD.
So strikeout, wild pitch. Headley safe at first, and here's Venable 0 for 3. Struck out a couple of times. There's Headley stealing second again. That's his 7th to lead the Padres. His timing is impeccable. The steals that he's made this year, most of them haven't even drawn a throw.
Great break. Dirty Uni. King Stallman. Stolen base. Hey, don't steal. Don't get caught with your hand in the cookie jar. It's okay to steal in baseball, but not in life, son. Okay?
So a chance to add to the 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning as Venable awaits the 1-0 pitch. Low. Oh, Headley had a big lead there.
Let's see if Will Venable lays off the breaking pitch down and in this at bat. Remember, he's had a heavy dose of cutters, sliders down and in. See if he's disciplined and lays off that pitch.
2-0. He figures to get an off-speed pitch here. At least that's been the pattern of these Brewer pitchers. Well, we got 83-mile-an-hour cutter. 1 out. Headley at second. Home half of the 8th inning, 3-0 Padres. Remarkable run of shutout innings offered by the San Diego pitching staff against the top run producing team in the National League. Outfield deep, swung to right. The action pitch. 3-1. Boy, Headley taking a huge lead off second with the shortstop Escobar playing right behind him.
That's where he has to rely on third base coach Glenn Hoffman to tell him that he's okay. You know, if he looks towards second base, he can probably see him peripherally out of his left eye there, the shortstop, but he's got to rely on the third base coach.
So 3-1 to Venable. The pitcher's spot is due next. Looks like Salazar, Oscar Salazar on deck in the dirt and blocked by Zahn. Venable walks. So a strikeout wild pitch puts Headley aboard, steals second, and now the walk to Venable, and the pinch hitter Salazar steps up. Oscar getting a chance to play in Florida, and again last night, after going hitless to start the season, has come through. Those 3 base hits have been in the last 2 games. 0 for 10 as a pinch hitter, and that has been the one low point of all the numbers that we've accumulated here in April. Pinch hitting, 3 for 33, worst in the league. But Salazar, getting a chance, getting a stroke. He had the double to lead off the big inning in Florida. Became a 4-run inning, 5-run inning to take over the lead. And then he had a couple of hits last night.
Pinch hitting is tough as it is already. I mean, you can go down to the cage and take swings off the tee. Ray Crone could be down there throwing at you. When you come in a ball game late as a pinch hitter, you're going to face one of the better setup men for the other team, or you're going to face a closer. So that's tough to do.
Ball too low. Well, we want to thank Channel 4 as we finish the month of April. May Day tomorrow for a great production throughout the course of the first part of the season. They take full credit, of course, for the Padres being in first place. That includes our director Tom Satursky and producer Ed Barnes, Chiron Bob Wursdorfer, our statistician Mike Trussell, Sheila Simpson running the stage here in our broadcast booth, and all our men and women running the technical end, the cameras. First class group, isn't it?
Absolutely.
On the corner, 2-1.
Hey, when your stage manager bakes you a cake and brings it in and feeds you, you got to like them. She does a great job.
What are you going for? A strawberry shortcake tomorrow?
Oh, hey, if you suggest it, she'll make it.
How about a little rhubarb, strawberry pie?
There we go.
Like that. All right, 2-1, 2 on. 1 out here in the 8th. Salazar trying to add to the 3-0 lead.
Oscar was out early this afternoon before regular batting practice, getting his cuts in, taking some extra BP. Hopefully pay off right here.
Headley at second, Venable at first. 2 good base runners. Three and 1. You'll see Villanueva wearing number 12, and that seems strange too. The pitcher with a 12, then they've got that 6'6" outfielder wearing 1.
Right.
What in the numerology is going on here? That's why you need a program, and of course when you come to a Padre game, it's free. You get the program and all the news as well. Everyone. 3 and 1. Salazar, will he be hunting here? Yep, and fouls it past Hoffman.
Trying to pull that outside fastball. That was a perfect pitch to try to drive to right center field.
Look at how shallow Garrett's played him in center field. That's where he hit his double in Florida 2 days ago. Full count. See if Bud Black has the runners going with 1 out and 3 and 2. No. Fouled away. Just did. He is way out in front. That slider. On deck is Jerry Hairston. Continuing to play solid defense. Had a little problem tonight with a couple of hard hit balls, but delivering a key double to start that last inning, and Brother Scott following with a 2-run homer. Now to Salazar. 3 and 2. Strike 3 call. Slider caught the inside corner. 2 out.
This looked like the front door breaking ball right on the inside corner. He wanted that one away, and then Greg Zahn has to catch it and frame it. Looked like a pretty good pitch. It's not where he wanted it, but it's the result he wanted.
2 on, 2 out now for Jerry Hairston. Popped to second, walked, lined a double to left field. Looking ahead to the 9th inning, it'll be Corey Hart, Greg Zahn, and Alcides Escobar scheduled for the Brewers. Keith Bell getting ready in the bullpen for San Diego. Right at the knees. With 2 outs, Headley at second, Venable at first, ready to race if Hairston can put one in the gap. High and away. So Latos against Gallardo tomorrow at 5:35. Sunday matchup is John Garland for the Padres. Randy Wolf be on the hill for Milwaukee, 105 to complete the 4-game series. Hope to see you here. There's Latos. Taken outside, 2-1.
See a lot of pitches away to Jerry Hairston. If he can think right center field, that spells trouble. But what Villanueva wants him to do is try to wrap that ball in the outside part of the plate and hit a grounder to the left side.
Action pitch, 2-1 coming up. Fouled out of play. Meanwhile, in National League West action, Arizona lost today at Chicago 11-5. The Dodgers and Giants are winning. Dodgers lead 6-2 in the 8th up north, and the Giants have a 5-2 lead with Colorado batting in the top of the 9th. Speaking of Colorado, we're going to see the no-hit pitcher, it appears, on Monday. So Monday night, you might want to order your tickets to see Ubaldo Jimenez. He's 5-0 with a no-hitter scheduled for Monday. Ground ball over the mound, but at the second baseman. And Weeks able to throw out. Jerry Hairston for the final out here in the 8th inning. We'll go to the 9th inning. Hart, Zahn, and Escobar. Heath Bell comes out of the pen with a 3-0 lead. Sonic now open in Santee and Vista. Half-price drinks and slushies, 2 to 4 every day. And our hit of the day, Scott Harrison producing it into one of the portals there, just inside the foul line. First deck, 361-foot homer with Jerry Hairston, his brother, scoring in front of him. 8th inning that pad the lead from 1-0 to 3-0. And now Heath Bell, the veteran right-hand reliever who led the National League in saves a year ago, looks for his 7th tonight, along with a victory.
He recorded his 6th save back in Florida a couple days ago on Wednesday. An inning pitched, 1 hit, 16 pitch effort.
So Gregerson works the 7th. Adams a 1-2-3-8, and now Bell facing Corey Hart, 1 for 3. Outside ball 1. Should Bell complete the shutout here in the 9th inning against a team that scores so many runs, and that's underlined by the fact that Milwaukee has not been shut out in consecutive games in 5 years. And he misses 2-0, and Hundley comes out even with that veteran, and this shows the maturity, increasing ability of Hundley to feel he can run the game here as the catcher, and that's been something encouraged, that hey, don't, just because you're a younger player, you got to take charge there. Comes out even with Bell saying, all right, let's go now, 2-0, don't get careless. Good low target right in the middle of that piece of leather. 2-1. In case you're wondering, the Padres, last time they've thrown back-to-back shutouts was last year, Washington and Los Angeles in September. LeBlanc, who worked the shutout last night, and that was wicked as Hart goes chasing. 2-2.
I think Corey Hart had it in his mind that he was going to swing no matter what. The count in his favor, 2-1, and he's fishing after a, and Corey Hart is so tall, if taken, that's probably a strike.
Well, it's across the letters, but and now 3-2. That ball cutting outside. Veteran Jim Edmonds, that swings a home run bat from the left side, is down in that dugout. He's available. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's 3 consecutive strikeouts by the relief pitching of Adams and Bell.
Heater away from Heath Bell. Corey Hart swung at that pitch earlier, just up a little bit more. He swung at 2 balls, if taken.
That's the 11th strikeout by Padre pitching tonight. 8 by the starter Clayton Richard in his 6 innings. Adams had a couple in the 8th inning. Zahn 1 for 2. Pinch hitter for Greg Zahn. No, it is Zahn. And he takes a strike at 93.
These Milwaukee hitters probably going to be taking a strike. They need base runners right now. So it's a good opportunity for Heath Bell to just go right after him with a fastball early in the count.
Ooh, a wicked breaking ball. What a curveball. Bottom dropped out of that. Craig Counsell is on deck for Milwaukee.
Look at the tilt on this power curveball. That is some kind of nasty, folks.
One and two. Oh. Fortunately, that was the microphone.
Man, you got to be heads up over there. Over the dugouts.
One and two on Zahn with 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Heath Bell. 1 and 2. Misses at 95 miles an hour, too low.
If he's going to throw him a breaking ball, keep it away from him. Don't leave anything in. I say go with the heater away, Ricky. Give him the heater.
Curveball.
Yeah. I mean,
out over the plate.
Yeah, 3-0 lead. I mean, I think that with the fastball of Heath Bell, he could knock it out of his hand, the bat out of Zahn's hands. And if you throw him a breaking ball, that's speeding up his bat. But the breaking ball just has to be in a good position, a good location.
Kept it away. It was on the outside corner.
Curveball.
Just did get a piece of that, yeah. Craig Counsell apparently will pinch hit for Escobar. And if the Brewers get a man on, then the pitcher's spot down in the hole is Counsell.
I guarantee you, a fastball on the inside corner of Greg Zahn, he would have no chance.
Just missed. Full count is on. Veteran catcher, good at bat here, is taking the count full. Strike 3 called. Oh my. Bell with all that heat, and then he takes something off at 80 miles an hour. Drops it right in there. Curveball.
And like you said earlier, Dick, that ball might look high, but you know, that's right at the belt buckle. I think that's a strike. I think that's a good call.
Adams struck out the last 2 men he faced in the 8th, and Bell punches out the first 2 up here in the 9th. 4 in a row. Great Counsell. Pinch hitter for Escobar. Counsell this year hitting .314. A home run and 8 runs batted in. Takes it down low, ball 1. Looks like Joe Inglet on deck. Should Counsell keep it alive? Padres 1 out away from back-to-back shutouts. And 8 in a row here at Petco. Right, 1-1. That 2-run home run by Scott Harrison was huge to give this relief staff that extra cushion. Strike, and now the Brewers are down to their final strike. Fans on their feet. 2-2, no one on. Top of the 9th, 2 outs. Bell trying to close the deal. Line drive, base hit. So the veteran Counsell hangs tough and drives a sharp single to left field. Brewers still alive.
That swing, that hit is so Craig Counsell, fighting it off, taking it the other way, not trying to get, froggy and trying to pull the ball. He realizes Heath Bell is trying to keep the ball away from him, and he just services it the other way. Good looking swing.
Brings up Joe Inglet as the pinch hitter. And tying run still down in the dugout with 2 outs and Counsell at first. Inglet, 10 games this year, producing 5 hits and 13 at bats. Most of those as a pinch hitter. He's 3 for 10. There goes the runner uncontested. Bell just let him go. Should not be a stolen base. It is not. So Counsell moves to second. 1 strike on Inglet. 1-1. Top of the order, Ricky Weeks on deck. Weeks has power. Strike, and it's down to the final strike again as the curveball bends in. Fans have been a good part of this evening tonight. They've enjoyed it. They've made a lot of noise. It's been a terrific environment. 1-2. Strike 3 called, and the ball game is over. The Padres win it 3-0. As Heath Bell saves it and strikes out the side. How about that? Back-to-back shutouts by the Padres. 24 consecutive innings they have shut out the opposition, going back to the Florida win on Wednesday. 3-0 San Diego. Mission accomplished here at Petco. Gregerson, Adams, and Bell complete the shutout.